So let's take it from the point where I'm going to assume that you've got all of this information in an array called myNames. So in the 0th spot of the array you have that, and then in the second spot, or the first spot of the array you have that, and then spot 2 you have that, spot 3 that, and so on. Okay. So what you do from there is you initialize an integer variable called highscore. Okay, and you start it at 0. And you make a name as well, a string variable to hold the name, and you start it with nothing in it. And then you go through a loop, and inside the loop you go through the myNames array. Just realized that wasn't in the picture. So you go through the myNames array, sorry, and then in the 0th one, so this is what the first one is. And what you say is we want to take the 0th entry of the myNames array, and we're going to split it based on space dash space. And when I do that, it splits based on this, and so the first part of the result is that, and the next part is that. And then what we do is we say we want to take the first part, the 0th part, and that's going to be the name, right? So the 0th compartment of that split, which is held in info, right? So we split it, and info holds on to the two different spots. The 0th compartment of info is going to contain John, and then the first compartment of info is going to contain 394. The trick to doing this is to realize that, wait a minute, John is a string, but we want to treat the next part, this 394, as an integer. And so this bit right here converts info1 to an integer value. Okay. Then what we do is we say, okay, well, if the value that we just read is greater than the highscore value, which is 0, then we treat that as the new highscore. And so value becomes highscore and name becomes highname. So after one time going through this loop, obviously 394 beats 0, so highscore becomes 394. Okay, but then it goes through again. And now it goes to this one, does the exact same thing. Now because 320 is less than 394, we will not do this replacement. So the highscore after this one is still going to be John at 394. But now, once we do this one, it's Steve. The name's going to be Steve. The value is going to be 849. 849 is bigger than the current highscore, which is 394. And so we do the swap. Value, which is 849, Val, becomes the highscore, and name becomes Steve. And it keeps going through this way until it hits Michelle at 892, and that's why Michelle will ultimately be the highscore. So you can see here, I have a little printout that shows who scored the highest. So if I run my program, I just realized that I'm not capturing my whole screen, so you can't see it, but I'll run my program and I'll show you the output. So see the bottom here? That's the output, 982 by Michelle, so it gets the highscore. Okay, I hope that helps.